Hello, I'm Lori Sharonbrock, and welcome to a new episode of What's on the Horizon. I'm here with Chris Schucker, owner of Digital Horizons, and today I want to talk about Control4. I was recently reading an article about how using a system like that really eliminates a lot of different app usage. I know that we use kind of a different system at home, and if I had to do it again, I would. But it feels like you have to use different apps and different plugins to make things do what you want, and that just seems more cumbersome than it's worth.
Right. Yeah. So that's one of the main reasons for Control4. So if you have lots of different systems in your home, and by systems I mean like different technologies,
Yeah.
you might have a thermostat.
Yes.
You might have security cameras. You might have surveillance cameras, I should say. You might have a security system. You might have speakers throughout your house. You might have an entertainment system. All of these different things can have their own individual app, but then you're having to use all of the individual apps. You have to keep track of them. You have to keep them updated.
Yes.
And then they don't talk to each other. There's no integration. There's no tying it together. So when we install the automation systems that we do, Control4 being the primary one, we use products that can exist within the Control4 ecosystem.
Sure.
And then they're all integrated into the same interface. So when we are finished with the systems, and not everybody has all of those different things, right? They may not have lighting control, they may not have motorized shades, they may not have thermostats that are tied in, but if they do, we make sure to use things that all can exist within the same ecosystem. And when someone wants to control their home, regardless of what's in it, they just open the Control4 app.
One app.
Correct, there's one app. So if you have security, if you have audio, if you have televisions, if you have temperature control, if you have lighting, if you have cameras, if you have garage doors, if you have a gate, if you have a sprinkler system, you name it, any of those things are all tied into a single interface. So if this is your primary residence, you live in the Brainerd area, if you are in Minneapolis, if you're in Fargo, if you're in wherever you are, when you want to control your home, whether it's your primary residence or secondary residence, you just open the Control4 app and it's all listed there. And then they all talk to each other. So there's no remembering which app does what, there's no updating it, it's just all in a single interface. And then the other nice thing is if you have multiple homes where you have Control4, you might work with different, we call ourselves integrators.
Sure.
You might work with different integrators. You might have somebody in the cities that you like working with, plus they're closer if you need to get service. But we do projects in the cities. It's just a little harder to service because it's as far away as it is. Yeah. So if you have somebody different that you work in with your main home in the cities, for example, versus say us up here in the Brainerd area, if you have Control4 in both locations, it's going to be the same interface, but you don't know that behind the scenes, that other company might use and prefer a different camera brand.
Oh, sure.
They might like a different thermostat, they might like this or that, but to you, because Control4 integrates everything into the same interface, it doesn't matter what that product is, as long as obviously it can be supported and things like that. When you go to touch cameras or touch thermostats, it's the same interface, it's that same language that we set up on the back end that makes it the same. So there's no guessing of what does what, it just works, and there's not multiple things to keep track of and to have to learn.
And is that where the scenes come in? You've used that term before, so you don't have to know the 12 different things that your thermostat does. Like you said, you can just say, I'm home.
Right.
And it will do things.
We can do a lot of integrations through that. So Control4 kind of acts as the navigator, if you will, that traffic cop when the lights aren't working, or if the lights are working, where you have the systems talk to each other. So a common thing to do is if we have the security system tied into the Control4 system, there's typically people have a way that they live in their home. They have a certain temperature, they like certain music, they like lights on at a certain level, and when we have all of these things all within Control4, we can have them do things, we call them conditionals.
Okay.
So when a condition is met, this thing happens. If security system is disarmed, do this. This being turn the lights on, set the temperature to 72, or this week it's 98 degrees outside, let's turn the AC to 68. Those things can happen based on the status of the security system. That's probably the most common thing we can do. Okay. We can do other things like if the garage doors are tied in. if we can have, this gets a little bit more complicated, but we could say if none of the motion detectors in the home have been triggered within 30 minutes and the garage door opens, turn the lights on. Or if the garage door closes and none of the motion detectors have sensed motion, turn the lights off. Or turn the music on, or do things like that. So when all of those systems are tied into Control4, we can set a condition and we can make things happen. I was on the phone with a client yesterday who I'm thinking of their system because I talked to them. They have a automatic water shutoff valve. And when they arm their security system, we tell the automatic water shutoff valve to turn off.
Yeah.
Because they only arm it when they aren't home, right?
Yep.
Why have the water running and potentially cause a leak throughout the house that we just shut their water off when they're not there?
Yeah. Easy enough.
Yeah. So things like that can occur that are just automatic, that if you can think of it and it's tied in, it can occur. We've done things like security systems or security cameras, for example. We will often have cameras on the outside of the home, and in this one particular project I'm thinking of, there's a camera that overlooks the hot tub. So we set up, they wanted privacy. They want cameras to watch the hot tub when they're not there. But when they're there, they don't want cameras to be recording what goes on in the hot tub for whatever reason, right? You choose what you want to think of that.
Yeah.
So what we did is we tied it in to where the power for the camera is routed through something that will turn the camera off when the security system is disarmed. And then that camera turns back on when the security system is armed.
Oh yeah, because that's how it's tied together.
Correct.
That's the condition.
The camera is always there. It's just, and the rest of the cameras are still there. The recorder is still there. We just turn that camera off when the security system is disarmed, and then it's on when it's not, so that they maintain their privacy.
Sure.
So as long as the control system is there, Control4 is there, and anything is tied into it, we can make those things happen for any number of reasons.
Yeah, that, I think in and of itself is a great reason to say you need to involve a technology integrator in doing this. This is probably not something you should ever try on your own, the smartest person possible, but still, I think that's why it's really important to work with somebody with experience. And so how would someone reach out and start to work with you?
Just visit our website, go to digitalhorizonsmn.com, and you can find all you need to know about us.
Awesome. That's wonderful. Well, thanks for that. It's been really enlightening to know that. I don't know if I made a good pun there or not, but join us for the next episode. Thank you for watching.